Hello, Crouch Gaming here, and after playing Battlefield 4 on a PS4 for 2 years, I've managed to wash enough cars to finally afford a PC. I didn't really wash cars, but same principle. Also, you'll notice those lovely black borders in my last video have gone. I've managed to fix my capture software to make it better. So, I thought I'd talk about what the biggest differences are between the two platforms. I am a massive console fan. Always love consoles, always will, and will always have one. For the last 2 years, while saving to buy a house, I had a choice to buy a mid-range PC, an upgrade, or get the PS4. And I got the PS4. It was a no-brainer for me. The first and most noticeable difference between the two, and we're talking specifically Battlefield 4, is of course graphics. Now, this is going to be no surprise to anyone, and I think deep down everybody knows that Battlefield 4 looks a lot better on a PC than it does on a console. As much as console loyalists may deny that point, I can tell you firsthand, a good PC makes this game look tenfold better. I mean, just look at this video and then look at one I did a few months back. It's hard to make a solid case with YouTube videos because they are compressed several times by recording software, rendering and YouTube itself. But having said all of that, honestly, does it really make any difference if the graphics are better? No. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever whether your graphics are better, whether you play on 720p, 1080p, it makes no difference to your overall experience in game playing. It just makes it look pretty. So unless you're someone who's obsessed with pretty things, it has no real difference on the experience. Although, what does matter, and it is related to graphics and performance, is frame rate. Now, the PlayStation 4 suggests it plays Battlefield 4 at 1080p at 60 frames per second. But really, it doesn't. A 64-man game during busy points and when shit starts exploding all over the place, those frames drop massively. And if you've played on PS4, or indeed an Xbox, you'll know what I mean when the game starts to chug. I suspect a mid or low level PC would have the same problem, but on those platforms you can reduce the graphical quality to try and get a bit of performance back. It makes me ask the question, why are those options never available on a console so that someone who wants to look at it pretty can, someone who wants to get performance can possibly sacrifice some of those graphics and start getting a higher frame rate, maybe for competitive matches, for clan games or anything like that, just so that console users can get a bit more performance as well. I'd love to see them do that, just so that it can compete a little bit more. Also, connection speeds to the servers appear much better on the PC than they did on my PlayStation. And I can only figure that this is probably because of PlayStation Network. On a PC there's no middleman, you're just direct to the server. I've got the PC and the PS4 plugged into the same network socket, and on the PC I'm getting 15 to 30 ping on EU servers. On PS4 it's anywhere between 40 and 150. Now, I'm just stating the obvious above. But what about the players? What do the people do differently on the two platforms? Well, making sure I prioritise in order of importance, it appears people on PC teabag far less than they did on PS4. PS4 was wall-to-wall testicle slapping. Now, I'm not saying the PC audience are more mature. Oh goodness no. The reason I think we see less dip potato chip is because they have a chat window, which is pretty awesome. Although it does kind of turn it more into Bitchfield 4 than Battlefield 4, but I do have a good laugh at it when they all start falling out with each other. On sort of more serious things, more sensible things. Sniping. Now, sniping is a much bigger factor on PC. It is so much more of a threat and something I haven't really got used to dealing with yet. Well, unless of course I'm holding a sniper rifle as well. You need to duck and you need to weave to throw them off, to throw their aim off, especially when you're on open ground in bigger maps. Another point, spotting. PlayStation 4 players spot like madmen. On PC, there doesn't appear to be a massive amount of it. I think this is due to the controller over the keyboard. I think if you've got the default settings with R1 being your spot button, it gives no movement or control penalty to you at all. On a PC, you have to take your finger off of something else, which is generally your movement, your forward, back, left, right. And it kind of makes the game that little bit harder. You need to be more conscious of what's around you, so you can't rely on your mini-map as heavily as you did when you were on your PS4. Well, I can't anyway. That's how it seems to me. Maybe once I get into it more, maybe that'll change. Maybe I've just been unlucky on servers, but I've played quite a lot now on both, and it seems a big factor. The other point is vehicular warfare. You run around the map on a PS4, you see a tank or an LAV, and it bothers you. You run away to get in cover, you'll spot it, 50-50, you'll escape, or it'll get destroyed. You run around the map on PC, and you see a tank or LAV, and before you've had chance to get to the A in tank, your head's been blown off. Armour is monumentally more dangerous on PC. I've died to more tank shells and cannons than bullets. I mean, I may be exaggerating a little, but they are just death on wheels. The last 3 points kind of make the console version of Battlefield a little less frustrating. I wouldn't say that makes it a better experience, but let's face it, no one likes being sniped, no one likes being flanked, and nobody likes eating a tank shell over and over again. Now, it may well just be me. I probably need to work on my strats. I can't get away with what I did before. I've got to start incorporating a bit more dodge and weave movement on open ground. I've got to start taking my time, working my way to objectives instead of just ballsing straight in there. Also, I think what I need to do is bind redeploy to a hotkey so that every time I see a tank, I can just press that, and then not increase the tank driver's kill death ratio. That is, of course, a joke. I'd never employ a dirty trick like that. These are all the things I've noticed so far, and if anyone has any questions or comments, then please leave them below. That's all for now. Have a good day.
Is another one? Yeah, there's one by me.